You watched?
I watched the whole. I bootlegged it. I pirated it.
I felt.
Oh, bro, that's hilarious. How you catch yourself in 8K? That sucks. What's up, guys? Omni here. You guys know how it goes. Another day, another video. Last night I tweeted I sleep. What recent news topics, tweets, videos y'all want me to talk about tomorrow? Just a casual reminder to hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't already. We're trying to reach 400,000 subscribers by the end of the month. Apparently, there's like 30% of you guys who are actually subscribed, and the other 60% aren't. So, yeah, if you could just double check to see if you've hit that button, that would be, really helpful for me growing my channel. Anyway, let's get into the needs to know segment. Number one, in which you probably need to know, and you probably already heard about this, but yeah, Bill Gates, the ex-CEO of Microsoft, has divorced his wife Melinda Gates. Bill Gates is worth around $135 million, which means if they do split things evenly, Melinda will be walking away with about $65 billion. Okay, so yeah, Melinda Gates, if you're watching this video, hey, how you doing? Number two, which you probably need to know, Sony and Discord have formed a partnership. And yeah, what that means for you is that if you have a PlayStation, you'll be able to talk with all your friends using Discord. So yeah, that's it. And last but not least, what you probably need to know, Dogecoin is going absolutely bonkers. I believe it's jumped up from almost like 30 cents to roughly around this morning 70 cents within the last week. So yeah, if you got Dogecoin and you've been holding it, then congratulations. If you don't, like me, sucks to be us. But yeah, that's the needs to know segment. Let's get into the topics that you guys wanted to talk about. So Bishop and a lot of you guys asked me to talk about this. This is pretty big news. MrBeast may not be that nice of a guy. If you guys don't know, an article came out from insider.com that's basically been, circulating, and people have been talking about it. It says former employees of YouTuber MrBeast alleged that the store created a blank. I'm guessing it's a toxic work environment or something like that. And yeah, the article has been making its rounds. It's a quick article, so I'll go ahead and read it for you guys in case you guys haven't seen it yet. But there's a lot of controversy around this article. Continuing where we left off, former employees of YouTuber MrBeast alleged the star created a toxic work environment where he berated and belittled staff, report says. In case you guys don't know who MrBeast is, I can't believe I'm actually saying that. He's a YouTuber who makes videos. Usually they're like insane things, like if you can do XYZ, I'll give you $1 million and I'll buy you a house. Whoever finds the key to this house gets to keep the house. He gives away a lot of money. He has like 4 channels where he either reacts, plays games, or he gives money away to people in need of money. So yeah, that's usually MrBeast. He does a lot of things with big numbers and big ways. The article reads as follows. Jimmy Donaldson, the YouTuber known as MrBeast, has been accused by former employees of creating a toxic work environment. The New York Times reported 11 people who worked for the YouTuber said his, quote, demeanor changed when the cameras weren't around, end quote, and, quote, they described a difficult work environment, end quote. Donaldson, who has over 61 million subscribers, exploded in popularity over the past 4 years because of his philanthropic videos. That's right, I stopped to make sure that I pronounced that properly, in which he donates hundreds of thousands of dollars to content creators and everyday people. His business ventures, such as MrBeast Burger, which sold over 1 million meals in 3 months, and his highly successful line of merchandise continue to grow his brand. Donaldson, who works out of Greenville, North Carolina, uses a mixture of hometown friends, fans, and influencers to help create his content. Quote, working for a 22-year-old YouTuber star isn't going to be the most professional work environment. This dude is only 22, good lord. Taylor Lorenz, the author of The Times says, told Insider, but if you aren't posturing yourself as a business leader or the next Elon Musk, you should think about the type of work culture you're creating and what you are rewarding. Okay. Interesting. Taylor Lorenz. I want to know more about this Taylor Lorenz. Put a bookmark on that. Continuing, Nate Anderson, who edited for Donaldson for 1 week, told The Times that the YouTuber was a, quote, perfectionist and that he made unreasonable demands. After he released a now deleted video about his time working with Donaldson, Anderson said he received, quote, death threats and hateful comments from MrBeast's dedicated fans. Okay, nothing out of the normal here. I imagine somebody like MrBeast who makes these super huge videos is probably a perfectionist. I don't know why people are using the word perfectionist as some kind of demonic way of he was a perfectionist, like, okay. And in terms of like unreasonable demands, just say no. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. You don't have a knife to your neck, but anyway. Matt Turner, an editor for Donaldson from 2018 to 2019, told The Times the content creator had scolded him on almost a daily basis. Oh no. He said the YouTuber, called by a term meant to disparage people with mental disabilities, I guess he's saying the R word, which brought him to tears. Okay, The Times reported. Turner added that he wasn't credited for his work and that when he would ask to be, Donaldson would credit someone else. So this Matt Turner guy is an ex-editor for MrBeast, and he's basically saying that his entire time working there, or I guess for a portion of his time working there, he was not having a good time, and MrBeast was calling him names and making him cry. Continuing, Turner had previously spoken up about his time editing for Donaldson. In 2018, he posted a video explaining the allegations, and in October 2019, he wrote in a since-deleted Twitter thread that he was, quote, yelled at, bullied, and called mentally ill and replaceable by MrBeast every single day. God dang, dude. Okay, he also released in 2019 a now-deleted YouTube video in which he said Donaldson deleted the project file for a video he was editing because of a compilation of clips of his philanthropy did not equal the 500,000 figure mentioned in the title of the video. Quote, for a large portion of Gen Z that doesn't want to be creators themselves, working for a creator seems like an absolute dream job, Loren said. But we see time and time again that these creators have basically little to no management experiences and behind the scenes can create a really hostile, stressful environment. Okay, so there's no new information from what I see here. It looks like all of this stuff is based on things that happened in 2018 and 2019. I'm trying to understand the point of this article. Like, I thought maybe something new had come out, but so far it seems like this article is basically just talking about things that happened like 2 or 3 years ago. Kind of confused. That's the end of the article. A representative of MrBeast declined the Times request for comment on the allegations pertaining to working conditions. MrBeast did not immediately respond to Insider's request for comment. So, okay, so someone wrote an article talking about things that have actually already been talked about. There's no new or additional information. Why did the New York Times decide to come out with this campaign against MrBeast out of nowhere? I'm a little confused. So yeah, guys, I found Taylor Lorenz, her actual Twitter account, and she's a reporter for the New York Times. And it seems like not even 24 hours ago, she must have made this article that says, MrBeast has successfully built a massive cult of a personality, a huge fan base of many extremely young children. He is the most followed YouTuber in the US and wants to take over the business world, but things have been rocky. Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is an actual article from the New York Times. They have MrBeast and a motion graphic. I don't know. It's absolutely wild. But yeah, here's the original New York Times article. And this article written by Taylor Lorenz. As you scroll down, I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's a little bit longer, almost like a documentary type piece. But, you know, talks about, you know, MrBeast, what he does, what he's been doing. He's declined an interview with these guys. Talk about the recipe of how he's made the videos. You know, things that we kind of already know about MrBeast. If you know MrBeast, you kind of know what he's been doing. But it looks like later on down here where it says business as usual, that's when they start talking about how the work environment was difficult. So Business Insider made an article about this article, and that's how it came to be. So yeah, guys, it looks like we kind of read this backwards, but basically what happened was the New York Times Post came out. The New York Times Post was supposed to be like cultivating of like everything, encompassing, but it also included a little bit of controversial, you know, tea background on MrBeast and him being an entrepreneur or whatnot. And then somebody came in from the Insider and was like, hey, let's take out that one small portion from the article and let's just talk about it, essentially. And basically kind of like, you know, like slanders MrBeast over something that's, you know, happened like in 2018, 2019. And Bradley had said, however, if you want some tea, Omni, the writer of this hit piece, Bait, has quite the history, it seems. May warrant a little research. How the tables have turned. Sure, why not? Let's look into this. Nicholas Diorio said, Stephen Asarge, a digital culture writer for Insider.com, published a hit piece on MrBeast today. That's what we just read earlier. Nick said Asarge is most well known for being an executive producer for the Onisan cash grab documentary that re-victimized alleged victims of serious crimes and told stories of people who requested to not be on national television, bro. The article also mentions Taylor Lorenz, a 36-year-old blue-check journalist who is employed by the New York Times. Previous work includes writing for The Atlantic, The Daily Beast. She is most known in this community for a hit piece article made on MrBeast. Okay, and the journalist circle jerkers like Def Noodles have already begun to promote this. We can expect either a tweet or a stream from Ethan Klein the next few days. All right. I definitely feel a lot of bias coming from this. It looks like there are some facts, but in terms of how it's being written and the information that's being said here, I feel like it's trying to portray a specific kind of story of events. Whether it's true or not, I'm not sure, but it's very obvious what's happening here. So yeah, guys, it appears to be like the end of the MrBeast situation. We've talked about the circle of events, and I gotta do, it is kind of like sketch. It is kind of like, you know, like weird that, you know, New York Times, that article, I'm fine with that. You know, bringing a little bit of controversy from the past and basically using it to encompass the entire article. Fine, whatever. You know, it's just basically putting out the information and saying that there's a little bit of tea to it. I don't really care. But then this guy making an article based off a small excerpt from the New York Times, not talking about everything, just that small excerpt, highlighting news that's happened a long time ago, essentially. And I'm pretty sure, actually, we can look into this. I'm pretty sure MrBeast already responded about this. He did. It's here. MrBeast responds to accusations of allegedly bullying former editor. So I'll scroll down to the part where it says MrBeast responds. It looks like there's some videos here that got unlisted or taken down in private. I don't know if I can click it or not, but yeah, it says Turner's tweets sparked outrage across the net with fans and critics alike hoping for an explanation for the allegations, and now MrBeast himself has finally spoken on the matter. According to reported phone call with Drama Alert's Daniel Keemstar Keemstar was involved, of course. MrBeast claimed that he'd given Turner a whopping $10,000 as severance, as well as another job at Sword Gaming, as told an October 9th video. Well, wow. That's not all. A previous video of Turner's from last year and turning heads across the net, with the editor claiming that working with MrBeast was, quote, a blast each and every day. So looks like someone is saying that Turner is saying one thing, saying like, hey, it's great to work with MrBeast, and then, suddenly saying this was terrible working with MrBeast and he made me cry. So, okay. Turner likewise admitted that MrBeast let him go due to his higher aspirations, claiming that the YouTuber had wanted an editor for the long term, even revealing that MrBeast had paid for the apartment he'd be living in at the time. So MrBeast was taking care of this man in terms of an editor, because I wouldn't be able to afford that for an editor. So it seems like MrBeast was, in terms of like monetary wise, he was making this guy very comfortable. Quote, they admired my work ethic, everything was good about what I did, and I really didn't do anything wrong, he explained. MrBeast paid for my rent every month when I lived in North Carolina. At the time of writing, Turner's main Twitter account has apparently been hacked, with the editor using a backup account in wake of his allegations, writing, I'm literally an innocent dude trying to live life and wanted to have an open conversation about an experience I had about my old job. So yeah, all this is kind of sus. Like, I'm not really a conspiracy theorist type of person, but it does seem like all of this information is coming out in a way to kind of republicize MrBeast's past problems in a way to make it more relevant again. And yeah, if you go from the New York Times to the Business Insider, and then what Nick was saying, if this starts getting talked about by like Deaf Noodles, which then gets talked about by H3H3, I know some people have been saying that this is some kind of like circle jerk conspiracy theory in order to cancel people. And I don't know if that's the case, but it is a little sus. In my opinion, yes, it is very weird to continue to bring up something that happened in 2018, 3 years ago, about MrBeast that apparently got resolved. And even when it got resolved, it seems like there were two sides of the story. It wasn't like somebody was just being slammed and was toxic. So I don't know. I do feel a little bit weird about it. So I got a little curious. I just wanted to see the impact of this. You know what I'm saying? Like the impact of going from the New York Post Times to Insider to Deaf Noodles, who's tweeting this out. And he's basically, Deaf Noodles is doing his job. He's reporting the news, saying that, the Insider reported this news basically. But I'm curious to see what the impact is. It has 600 tweets, a lot of replies. Basically, I'm curious to see what the trickle down effect is. And as I scroll down into his comments, I see somebody says, I knew it. Another David Dobrik bites the dust. Honestly, not surprised. Something about MrBeast always seemed extremely off to me. I'm sure a lot more articles and allegations will come out. Such David Dobrik vibes. So glad all this is coming out. Call out toxicity. All toxicity needs to be acknowledged and called out. So not surprised all these mainstream people give off such a-hole vibes. Anyone who watches them needs to reevaluate themselves. So it's not good. I don't know. You guys have seen all the facts. To me, it seems like we're bringing up information that happened a long time ago that's already been addressed. It's already been swept under the rug. Everything has been taken care of. And then someone's bringing it back up in an article. Another person's bringing it up. Another person's bringing it up. And now it's becoming relevant. And now we're, cancel culture seems to be trying to come at MrBeast. Is that what's happening? People in the comments are saying, I don't trust people who give charity for clout and views. Disappointing, but not surprising. I believe MrBeast is sneakier Shane, period. Yo, comparing this man to Shane Dawson, dog. Yo. But yeah, guys, that's the MrBeast situation in a nutshell. In my opinion, the person who did the New York Times hit article, whatever, okay? If they want to bring up some things from the past, they can bring up some past. But they look like they did a full inclusive documentary article on this guy talking about the goods, the pros, and the cons or whatnot. The way that the cons, though, get spun around to turn to become more relevant, I'm not a huge fan of. I think Deaf Noodles was just doing his job. Deaf Noodles was basically just expressing like, hey, Business Insider made this article, and I would say like the most fault probably falls on Insider, kind of just emphasizing something that's already happened in the past. It's like making a second article on something that was an article 3 years ago. So yeah, my hope is that this gets kind of put to rest, because I don't think we need to cancel MrBeast over something that happened 3 years ago, especially something like this. And then comparing him to Shane Dawson, dog, like, That's cap. That's cap and a half. Yeah, and hopefully H3H3 and Ethan aren't going to talk about this. I don't foresee them talking about this because this is something that happened again 3 years ago. If they really do try to come out and cancel MrBeast over this situation, I wouldn't really feel good about that. But yeah, speaking of H3H3, this is a great pivot. Let me know how you guys feel about this whole MrBeast situation. But we're going to pivot over to H3H3 because if you guys don't know, there's a big situation going on with H3H3, Triller, Jake Paul fight, Keemstar. Bro, it's wild. So Brothership and a billion of you guys asked me to talk about this, the possibility of H3H3 getting sued for rebroadcasting the Jake Paul fight on his podcast. Yes, that's a thing. If you guys don't know H3H3, aka Ethan Klein, he has a podcast where he basically talks about current events. He also has a specific type of podcast on the H3 podcast called Frenemies, where he talks about things with Trisha Paytas. We've talked about this on this channel. They're pretty big right now and very successful podcast at the moment. Anyway, we're going to talk about all the moving pieces here because there's a lot of moving pieces here. And yeah, Brothership has said and sent me this. Triller filed legal action on April 23 in the U.S. District Court of Central California against the owners of the H3 podcast website for piracy of the April 17th event and a dozen other sites that restreamed and profited from as many as hundreds of thousands of users each. More than 2 million illegal streams of the event occurred for the Jake Paul versus Ben Askren boxing match. Dang, 2 million illegal streams. How do you even come to that number? How do you even figure out those analytics that there was 2 million illegal streams? I'm curious about that. Anyway, continuing in the case of H3 Podcast, Triller added the site to its legal action after the site's owner admitted on his own podcast that he pirated and shared the Paul versus Askren fight. Legal action could result in civil fines up to $150,000 per illegal stream, as well as potentially $250,000 in criminal fines and up to 5 years in jail. Bro, they're trying to put H3 in jail. The fines are calculated at $150,000 per instance. So for H3 and other sites who rebroadcast the event to many people, the damages are large, basically saying that if H3 did illegally download or watch the film and then broadcasted it to, like, let's say hundreds of people, then you take that number and then you multiply it. Bro, this is absolutely wild. So in a deleted tweet by Ethan Klein, he said, apparently I'm being sued by Triller? ? News to me, especially considering I did not rebroadcast it or pirate it. ? What? But this tweet was later deleted because, well, I'll explain why.
But I don't know why the ref called it. I just found that the obscene. You know what? Like, I waited I felt that long for that.
You watched?
I watched the whole. I bootlegged it. I pirated it.
I felt.
No. Oh, bro, that's hilarious. How you catch yourself in 8K? That sucks. Not only on top of that, Philip DeFranco has already covered this entire situation as of yesterday, but apparently H3H3 reached out and gave a statement to Philip DeFranco about what happened. I'll just play the clip for you guys right here.
To see what happens next, but I also reached out to Ethan Klein to see if he had any response or comment to all of this that's happening. And here he gave me the statement. I did not want to support a credibly accused, but I did not broadcast the link, only watch what was readily available.
Okay, so he said he did not broadcast the link, only watched what was readily available, which I believe is, I think this is admission that, yeah, my guess is that he watched a readily available link of the fight, which was pirated. He didn't watch it illegally, so I think he's kind of admitting it to it right here in the tweets, I believe. So yeah, so far it's not looking good for H3H3. It seems like maybe he's lying because apparently here Keemstar here is saying, wait, so if H3H3 broadcasted the Triller fight to 1 million people and the PPV was $50, does that mean Ethan calls Triller $50 million in damages? Obviously exaggerating, probably having fun with the situation. If you guys don't know, H3H3 and Keemstar, they don't like each other, okay? They actually hate each other. H3H3 has been trying to cancel Keemstar to infinity for years now, and Keemstar has been surviving. And yeah, it's this picture, let's just look at it. The screen cap says Jake Paul fight was a disaster, and it shows Ethan Klein here in the bottom right, looking like he's watching the show. And if you look at it, it says H3 podcast, there's 28,000 likes, 1 million views, April 22nd. And then at the top, you can see here that it's an unlisted video that says Jake Knockout. So he was, yeah, it's not looking good. It's looking kind of bad. And then Keemstar later said H3H3 sound guy is privatizing evidence in alleged criminal and civil case with Triller. And I guess this is Zach, the sound lad, I don't know who that is, but there's an unlisted video of the Jake Knockout basically suggesting that this unlisted video was uploaded to this account. I don't know the credibility of it, and now it's private. So yeah, guys, last but not least, I wanted to come back to see if Ethan has made any statements about it, and I went to his Twitter page, and he's pretending the whole thing didn't happen. From my understanding, he hasn't made any more comments. He deleted the tweets. He's not responding to anything. He's just moving forward and just making content. But I'm curious to see what Triller's going to do. So yeah, guys, it's the H3H3 versus Triller lawsuit situation in a nutshell. I'm curious to see how this plays out because it doesn't look good for H3H3. I don't think he's going to go to jail. There's no way that this man's is going out of jail. I don't even know if this man's actually going to be even paying any money. If anything, probably at the most, there will be some kind of like settlement that's going to be, you know, settled outside of, you know, the public. But yeah, it does look like Ethan dug himself into a hole. He basically was admitting to things that, from what I see, looks like it's completely false. So it looks like he was lying. And there was actually another clip that I had seen as well where he was basically talking to some guy. He was like, yeah, man, I watched that illegally. And the other guy was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't share any links with you. And he was like, come on, bro. You sent it to me, blah, blah, blah. Basically getting this other guy, telling one of this other guy. The other guy was like, yo, play it cool, bro. Like, I didn't send you anything. He knew the repercussions, but Ethan was kind of going in on the situation. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this plays out. I hope a lot of people don't like Ethan because ever since he's done the H3 podcast and he's been doing things with frenemies, people feel like his prior content to what he used to make on his main channel, H3H3 Productions, is completely different. His personality is completely changed. He's lost a lot of his older fan base, but he's gotten a new, much bigger fan base as well. Kind of almost like polar opposites, going from like the commentary channel community to like the tea drama sipping community stand. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's going to jail. I don't want this to be the end of H3H3 Ethan Klein. Not like this. I can't have my man go out down sad because he decided to watch a Jake Paul fight. I didn't watch the Jake Paul fight, but that just sucks. Imagine that you could have just done anything that night, you know, but you decided to just watch the Jake Paul fight, and by doing so, you just ended your entire YouTube career. Please don't let my mans go out down sad like that. But yeah, that's the situation. All right, guys, last but not least, this story is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, it's wild what happened here, and it's really sad. It's Minecraft Twitter. They basically convinced a guy named Ranboo, who's a Twitch streamer, very, very popular, very huge, to not play a game called Omni because they basically said that it was ableist. Serval said Omni was trending because the streamer Ranboo said he'll play it if he reaches 100,000 sub goal. And if you guys click here, Ranboo updates, sub goal, 100,000 Omni. And dang, that's wild. I wish I could do that. I just got finished playing Omni literally a couple days ago. It's on my Twitch VODs if you guys want to watch it. But if I could do a sub goal and say, yo, 2,000 subs, I'll play a game, I'll do it. But wow. Anyway, guys, this was a big deal. Omni was trending with like 30,000, 40,000 tweets last night talking about this entire situation. Minecraft Twitter basically said that this game was ableist. And this dude basically made a thread talking about why it's ableist, and it was all misinformation. I read it. I can't tell you guys. I don't want you to spoil. I don't want you to get spoiled by it, okay? If I read it, it would spoil the game for you guys, and the game is very story heavy. So I want you guys, if you do want to play the game, to not be spoiled by it. I don't like doing spoilers on this channel. So, but yes, the person was giving all these details, but there was a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of trigger warnings to the game, but the information that they were given, there's no ableism from what I've seen. However, guys, I was just trying to figure out if Ranboo was still going to play the game because they reached the goal, but apparently this guy said, wait, so is Ranboo still going to play Omni, or is that canceled? And this person said, I'm pretty sure he swapped it out for Night in the Woods. So yep, Minecraft Twitter won. They scared Ranboo out of playing Omni, which sucks because Omni is an absolutely beautiful game. Yeah, I finished the game April 29th. I had said, just finished Omni. What an absolute beautiful game, and even more incredible game experience. Learned a lot about myself as well. Thanks for introducing me to it. Guys, if you haven't played Omni, and you gotta be careful. There's a lot of trigger warnings, and it lets you know what's in there, like depression, anxiety, and all this other stuff. It's all in there. It lets you know, but it's a magical, amazing, wild experience in my opinion. But yeah, that's the Omni drama situation in a nutshell. It really does sucks because I feel like Omni needs to be broadcasted more. I feel like if you know, Ranboo played Omni, it would get more visibility and it would get more support, and people would know just how amazing this game is overall. They deserve it. The people who created this game deserve it in my opinion. But yeah, if you guys want to watch it, again, like I said, I already streamed it on my channel, twitch.tv/Inferno-Omni. I have like the VODs and the collections in there ordered by part. So yeah. Anyway, that's the Omni situation. All right, guys, that's the end of the video. If you made it to the end, do me a favor, leave a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Okay, we're trying to reach 400K by the end of the month. I don't think it's going to actually happen, but I'll do my best. But yeah, floss your teeth, man, brush your teeth, and relax and have a good day. I hope you guys are doing okay, man. Take it easy. Peace.